Hi guys, what's up? My name is Josh and I am making a video that's kind of different from the videos that I normally post on my channel, on our family channel. Today I want to talk to you about the CDL. Particularly, I am working on studying to get my permit for my CDL. Now, for me, this is going to be in Montana, for the Montana commercial CDL. I don't know if you can see that. And it's for it says revised December 2015, but when I went for the current one, that's what they gave me. So that's what apparently we're working on. I know that the online one says 2016, but this one is apparently still valid because it was just updated as of the end of 2015. So it should match if you've got the online version of the Montana commercial driver license manual, sorry. You should be able to follow along just fine. If you don't have that and you're not familiar, well, one thing, let me just tell you, if you're not familiar with my channel, I tend to crack a lot of jokes and we tend to be kind of silly, but I'm gonna try and be more serious with these videos because, well, when I started reading through this manual, the first thing that hit me was, wow, this is really dry. And I have never really been great at studying dry material without help. And there's only so much that Maggie can do to help me. Maggie's my girlfriend. You'll see her in other videos if you peruse the channel. But, so the whole reason for me making these videos, it was actually her idea. The reason I'm making these videos is because I'm hoping that it will help me retain the information a bit better since I'll be actually reading it to you and going over things and talking about it. And I think I have to I did have to sneeze. I'm hoping that going over, reading it, and talking to you about it will help me. But I was looking through YouTube for something like this for Montana for 2016 and it wasn't available. And I thought, well, that's another good reason to make it because maybe it'll help someone else at the same time. And so if I have a way to help me and to help you, that's fantastic and I want to do that. Now, hopefully, as time passes, these videos will stay up and ideally I get my CDL and I start working for the company that I've signed up with. And so basically what I did, I grew up in Pennsylvania and I moved to Michigan, got a driver's license there, moved to California, got a driver's license there. Maggie and I decided to take on yet another exciting part of our journey. And so the goal is I've signed up with this company and I'm their apprentice for the first 3 weeks. And then I get my, well, after the first week I'm supposed to have my permit. And then I start studying and driving and working towards my CDL. And then once I have my CDL, I'm just driving. So after my initial training period, I can actually have Maggie and Marvin on the truck. And our goal is to become the next great American trucker family. Is that how I said it before, babe? The next great American trucker family?
I think it's a
trucking family. That's it. So that's the goal. And ideally, as these videos stay up and time passes, I'll be around posting videos. We'll be talking about life on the truck. And if you guys have any questions or need advice or anything like that, please reach out to us. Reach out in the comments and we'll do everything that we can to help you because that's what people have done for us. We've had amazing support from people that have no reason to be amazing and supportive, but they have been. And we're incredibly fortunate and feel blessed. And so I would be more than happy to pass on, to pay it forward and help you in any way that I can. So that's the backstory. And what we're going to do now, if you notice I keep tilting my head because I have a mirror set up and my camera set up so that I can see to make sure it's still recording because last night I tried this and it wasn't recording for about 20 minutes of my talking. So what we're going to try and do is keep each video to, roughly under an hour just to keep it palatable so that you can actually, you know, who wants to sit through an hour-and-a-half video? I can't study for that long, and I wouldn't want to watch a YouTube video that was much longer than that was helping me study. So, there's some things that I'm going to link to you in the underbar, which I jokingly refer to as my pants, which John Green and Hank Green, the Vlog Brothers, actually do that too, so that's where I got it from. But I'll link you in my pants to the online commercial driver manual. Commercial driver license manual. It always throws me because I always thought it was commercial driver's license manual. Whatever. But I'll link you to this so that you can get it if you can't get to the DMV, because it is very snowy here in Montana right now. Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention. The reason we're here in Montana is because that's where the company's based. Now, I'm technically going to be an out-of-state applicant, which changes the way that they handle my paperwork, but not the way that they handle the test. So I will be an interstate driver, and once we get into the manual, I'll explain there's a difference between interstate and intrastate, which I didn't realize. There's also going to be things that you should know I'm not experienced at this point. I know nothing. Well, not nothing, but I know very little compared to what I will know after I've had driving experience under my belt. So I'm going to have questions too. And if I ask a question during a video, I'm going to write it down because I have loose leaf notebook paper, which I love. I also love notebooks. I love all stationery. I will make a reference to it in my pants, and then I'll answer the question, and then I'll also come back around and recap in the beginning of the next video, so that if you're following along, you'll get the answers right up front. And it never hurts to Google. So if you think I got something wrong in a video, or if I talk about something and it doesn't sound right, Google it. And do your research too, because I'm learning this. Remember, I'm not like, oh, let me teach you something. I'm learning this. We're study buddies, basically. And if you feel like, and if you find an answer that I didn't find or didn't cover, put it in the comments. I'm trying to learn this stuff too, so help me out, and I'll do everything I can to help you out. Alright, let's get to it. So, the funniest thing about these books is they're basically like the thickness of one-ply toilet paper. Like, really, I could comfortably wipe my butt with this. I'm just being honest. I really could. I mean, and it's real silky and smooth. Like, yeah, that would make good toilet paper. That's terrible. Okay. So, are you trying to watch a video? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go through some parts of this very quickly. Keep in mind, I'm working towards my CDL Class A. So, first and foremost, if you get a Class A, you can drive Class B and C too, unless you need endorsements. If you get a Class B, you can't drive A, but you can drive B and C. And if you get C, you can just drive C. Or apparently there's D, but I think that's like regular driver's license. I'm not actually sure about that. So, keep in mind that anything that I talk about, I'm not going through and learning everything for B and C. I'm learning everything that specifies A, because that's what I'm trying to learn. And trust me, I'm 36 years old. There's not a lot of room up in my head, so I need to just focus on what I'm trying to learn, and hopefully it helps you, and if it's not, I'm really sorry. So the first thing, you see I made little notes in the margins. First thing we're starting at, okay, right up here. It talks about Montana-specific rules and regulations. Proof of Social Security number and identity confirmation. Basically, whatever you put on the application has to match what Social Security has for you. It should be whatever's on your card, and it should all match. If you enter your Social Security number wrong, you basically void your CDL application, and you probably cost yourself extra money, because they will deny you. How safe is your vehicle? Pre-trip. Drivers should all be familiar with checking the vehicle for safety before starting on a trip. As part of commercial driver license testing, you will be required to perform and pass a pre-trip inspection exam conducted by the driver license examiner. Steps that can help you perform a successful inspection are outlined in Section 11 of this manual. The pre-trip inspection requires you to be very familiar with your vehicle. The pre-trip must be passed before a commercial vehicle operator's license is issued. Dude, I'm so scared about my pre-trip, you don't even know. Like, literally, I'm going to link in my pants. There's a video where a Wil-Trans instructor, I think her name's Ruby, she's really awesome, but she goes through everything that you have to do for the pre-trip examination, and it's really cool because she gives you tips. Like, in the beginning, she's like, the DOT likes touchy-feely, so we touch the lights every time we walk by them, and you never pass a light without saying there's a light there and what color it is, and that it's, the light is secure and not cracked or broken and all, and blah blah blah, and it's, if it's amber in color or if it's red or whatever. But there's so much to remember, and I'm like...
The video was an hour long.
It's an hour and 10 minutes, babe. Hour and 10 minutes. And if I say dude or guys, that's just a generalization. I don't mean to exclude any ladies out there. You're probably better drivers than I am. So, there's nothing but love there. Okay, about this manual supplement. This supplement to the driver manual is intended to help beginning drivers of trucks and buses prepare for the written and behind-the-wheel road tests for a Class A, B, or C commercial driver license. Experienced drivers who may need to obtain a Class A, B, or C license should also review the material in the manual. Okay, so even if you've driven... How would you be experienced without having your CDL? Maybe you were riding dirty? Don't ride dirty.
You could get suspended.
You could get suspended, but I don't think you would have to retest if you got suspended.
They should make you retest, because obviously...
Maggie just pointed out our first question. Do you have to retest if suspended? Okay, well that's the first question. We'll Google that later, and I'll answer it in my pants, and it'll be at the beginning of the next video. Provided I survive this video, because I have really bad heartburn right now, guys. Okay. I start thinking about this stuff, and I'm like, I get a little anxious. Whew. Okay. We got this. Okay. The manual can also help remind all drivers of trucks and buses of their responsibilities as professional drivers of the biggest vehicles on the highway. I mean, no pressure. It's just you're driving freaking tanks out there, but, you know, no biggie. Right. Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention this time, checking to make sure we're recording, we're golden. I also picked up for... I was nervous, okay? I went into the DMV, and I was like, I like made sure that this was what I needed, and there was the regular one, the motorcycle one, and this one. And I grabbed like 2 of these, or 3 of these. Somebody in another room is completely pugging. Also, Maggie and I own a pug, so sometimes I say pugging, and it means like waking out. Being cray, basically. Just so you know my verbiage. You know, it's very technical terms on this channel. In my pants, you're pugging. If you know what I'm talking about, we're good. So I grabbed each of them. I don't know what I thought I was doing grabbing the motorcycle one, but I just felt like it was a good thing to do at the time. I'm not a I don't drive, anyway. Okay. This part's interesting, and I've actually seen part of this on a question. Oh, there's another site that I want to tell you about, where I take tests, and they're like, they're not faked, like it's a practice test site, and there's only so many questions, so it's like good up until the point that you know all of the questions that they ask, but it does help. And there's like several tests, but you just have to make sure up at the top, and I'll link in my pants, but you have to make sure up at the top that you actually select CDL. But it's also a good thing, from what this is saying, to practice the regular one, because it's going to cover things that are on both. Just saying. Okay. Truck safety has become a growing national concern. One way to address these concerns is to improve the knowledge and skills of the people who drive large commercial motor vehicles. The Commercial Motor Vehicle Safety Act, passed in 1986, that seems like it should have happened a lot sooner, was an attempt to assure that those who are issued a commercial driver license have the minimum knowledge, skills, and ability to safely operate on public streets and highways. All commercial drivers, and especially new applications, should study both the regular and commercial driver manuals. I just said that. I didn't need to say that because this says that, but whatever. The written tests are designed to test the knowledge covering the movement of traffic, equipment, and driver responsibilities, as well as operating characteristics, federal laws, and regulations. Because heaven knows we don't have enough regulations. We need more. Commercial license requirements. Montana's commercial license became effective January 1st, 1988. So, this is a little confusing because the Safety Act passed in 86, but then we didn't decide that we needed actual licenses that were different until 88.
Except in another part of that book, it says that they didn't need commercial driver's licenses until like 1992 or something.
Yeah. Maybe it says that they designated it between A, B, and C?
Probably. I don't know. I just was reading it.
That's because my girl's smart, you know. She was reading the manual, not because she needed to, just because she was nosy.
I was bored.
Did it make... Was it like... Literally, I was laying on the bed the one night, and I was like... I kept like nodding like a kid and falling asleep. It was like so intense. Not really. Montana's commercial license became effective January 1st, 1988. The license is based on where the vehicle is driven, interstate or intrastate. So intrastate is only within your individual state, wherever you are. Interstate is like in between states. And is classified by the size of the vehicle driven. Class A, B, C, and necessary endorsements can be added. Alright, now here's some definitions. And I covered the, if you have A, you can operate B and C. If you have B, you could do B and C. If you have C, it's just C. Because I made a note to, like, say that. Okay. Air brake restriction is a restriction placed on a commercial driver license prohibiting the operation of air brake equipped vehicles unless the driver has passed the required examinations. Written, pre-trip, basic skills, and road tests. See, this is like daunting a little bit. I mean, we got this, but like, it's a little daunting. To show that he is qualified to operate an air brake equipped vehicle. Classifications. Each interstate or intrastate license will be classified as to the type of vehicle driven as follows. Combination vehicle is Class A. It's any combination of vehicles with a gross combination weight rating GCWR of 11,794 kilograms or more. And that's 26,001 pounds or more if, you know, you're not down with the kilograms. Provided the GVWR of the vehicle being towed is in excess of 4,536 kilograms, which is 10,000 pounds. So basically it's like what you're towing has to be at least 10,000 pounds. Heavy straight vehicle is a Class B, is any single vehicle with a GVWR of 11,794 kilograms or more, which is 26,001 pounds or more, or any such vehicle towing a vehicle not in excess of 4,536 kilograms, 10,000 pounds. So, Class A is more than 10,000 pounds, and Class B is, you gotta be under that. So there's a weight limit. And then I do know that endorsements you would need, if you needed to do a double trailer or a triple trailer, that's like an endorsement. So then you would still go for Class A plus endorsements. It's basically like you're graduating with honors because you can do All that in a bag of chips, I think. Again, tell me if I'm wrong or if you guys know something different, but that's what I'm thinking this means. Note, a semi-tractor is not considered a Class B vehicle and cannot be used as such for testing. Small vehicle, Class C, is any single vehicle or combination of vehicles that meets neither the definition of Class A nor that of the Class B, as contained in this section, but that either is designed to transport 16 or more passengers, including the driver, or is used in the transportations of materials found to be hazardous for the purposes of the Hazardous Materials Transportation Act, and which requires the motor vehicle to be placarded under the hazardous materials regulations. And then there's the non-commercial vehicle, which is Class D, is any non-commercial vehicle authorized to be driven with a regular driver's license. So I was right. Yeah, I was right. Just kidding. I was just literally just kidding. Okay, so the next part talks about the permit. The commercial license permit, CLP, are permits you can get for any class of commercial license. If you are a first-time applicant, you must pass the vision and written tests, present a valid medical examiner's certificate or a MEC card, formerly known as a DOT card or DOT card, plus fulfill all other requirements for the class of vehicle you want to drive. Once all requirements are met, the CLP is issued and valid for 180 days from the issue date. CLP holders operating a commercial motor vehicle requires an accompanying driver, licensed and endorsed for operating the class of vehicle you are driving. Well, no kidding. So you mean I can't take, like, my grandpa who used to drive a school bus and have him teach me how to drive a semi? Really? I mean, he passed away. But still, like, that makes total sense. But I guess they have to state things that are common sense. The CLP is renewable one time on or before the CLP expiration date for an additional 180 days. There is no charge to renew a CLP. Well, for my apprenticeship, we literally have like 3 days to get our permit. Excuse me. So I don't know. And then we have like a couple of weeks to get our CDL. So I don't think 180 days is going to apply to me, but maybe if you're like in a trucking school or you're an apprentice for someone who, you know, it's private.
It's how long it's good for, like your driver's permit, when you get your permit when you're a teenager, it's only good for a certain amount of time, and then you have to retake your permit test. If you go past that time, it expires.
I know, yeah.
It's the same thing.
When I actually had my, I didn't actually get my license until I was like 20 or 21, or maybe it was like 20.
So if you had got your permit when you were 18, it would have expired.
Oh, it did.
That's what they're saying.
But it's weird because I only had to take my test once, and then they just let me keep renewing it, which I don't know if they should have, but it's Pennsylvania and it was near Philly, and I'm pretty sure they were just like, it's fine. Just go. You're clearly a dumbass taking this long to get your license, whatever. It wasn't that, I just didn't have someone to really teach me, so that was the thing. Okay, a pre-trip and/or skill test that was passed during the first 180 days are forfeited if the permit is renewed. So basically, you get your permit, and then you do part of your test, and then your permit, expires or you need to renew it. That stuff is no longer valid. You have to retake it. All CLP permits must be held for a minimum of 14 days before taking the pre-trip, basic skills, and road test. You can take it on the 15th day. Interesting to know. Okay. My nose is like getting stuffy. Commercial motor vehicle, CMV, means a vehicle or combination of motor vehicles used in commerce to transport passengers or property if the motor vehicle has a gross combination weight rating of 11,794 kilograms or more, 26,001 pounds or more. Why 26,001? Why couldn't they just say, hey, if this is bigger than 26,000 pounds, this is what you are. 26,001? That's like, for the carpool lane, there was a fine of like $436 or something?
That's totally weird amount too.
Where did that number come from? That's a weird number. Moving on. Actually, I think of things like this because it'll help me remember 26,001 because I'm going to be like, what's up with the 1? You know what I mean? So that's kind of like, you know, why I bring up stuff like that. Okay. I lost my place for sure. I sure did. Oh yeah, 26,000 pounds or more, inclusive of a towed unit with a gross vehicle weight rating of more than 4,536 kilograms, which is 10,000 pounds, or has a gross vehicle rating of 11,794 or more kilograms, 26,001 pounds or more, or is designed to transport 16 or more passengers, including the driver, or is of any size and is used in this transportation of materials found to be hazardous for the purpose of the Hazardous Materials Transport Act, and which require the motor vehicle to be placarded under the Hazardous Materials regulations. Literally, they lost me about the third time they said 26,001. But basically, they're just saying, like, it's, like, bigger than... It's big. It's real big, basically. Or, because even for the Class C, it's... So, I guess that's the catch. I guess that... Okay, this is actually maybe making sense. So, the Class C could be like a van or something, but... like for Quest Diagnostics, they have vans that transport blood, so they have to have like a hazmat thing on it. I think this is what they're talking about because they're transporting hazardous materials or something like that. Or it could be a smaller van that's transporting like oil or something, and that's a hazardous material, so that has to be handled specially. So that's why they can be a commercial motor vehicle, I guess. The next definition is double, triple trailers endorsement is required for drivers who pull double or triple trailers in vehicle class A, B, or C. I don't think a class C could pull even one trailer, so I think, but whatever. Moving on. Endorsement means authorization to an individual's commercial...
Isn't C like... You have to have a special license to have an RV, don't you?
Do you have to have a CDL to drive an RV? That answer and that question and that answer will be in my pants and also at the beginning of the next video. That's actually a good question. I'm not mad at you.
I feel like you have to pull a trailer, a Class C, but I could be totally wrong.
I don't know because you can drive a U-Haul
with a Class D.
With a Class D, because I have, and you can tow a car.
That's true. Yeah,
so I don't know, but it's a really...
It's bigger that you would actually be hauling something on the back of your vehicle.
I'm telling you, she's smart. I don't really know, but we can Google that. Which means Google.
Obviously.
OVS. Endorsement means authorization to an individual's commercial driver license required to permit the individual to operate certain types of commercial motor vehicles. All persons who operate or expect to operate the type of motor vehicle described in the endorsement shall take and pass specialized tests. It's like being in AP classes. You special. For good reasons. Exception. The GCWR, Gross Combined Weight Rating. Is that what that means? I think... These letters mess me up. Gross Combination Weight Rating. That's what that means. GCWR. The gross combination weight rating of the power unit will not be used to define a commercial vehicle, motor vehicle, when the power